Corner. Today it's just me, Blake, and today I'm going to do a ranking of the Mission Impossible movies as we are leading up to Mission Impossible 7, Dead Reckoning Part 1. And so I had not have seen the first three Mission Impossibles, and I knew I saw one of the like four, five, or six. I knew I'd seen one of those three in theaters, and then I wasn't sure if I'd seen the other ones before. And so recently I decided I kind of just wanted to rewatch all of them just to see what they're all about. I was excited for the next one. I love Tom Cruise; makes great movies. So I just kind of wanted to watch them all. And I ended up, as I was watching them, I saw the fourth one, which was Rogue Nation. Probably should know that right now. Fourth one would have been Ghost Protocol. Ghost Protocol, then Rogue Nation. And Ghost Protocol was the one that as I was watching, I realized this is the one I saw in theaters, which came out in 2011, I believe. So that was, 12 years ago. And then as I was watching Rogue Nation, I kind of, bits and pieces, I started to remember that I think I've seen this. So I don't know if I just saw that like on TV it was on and I watched some of it or something like that. I don't know. And then the one right before that's number 6, Fallout. I had definitely never seen any of that before. So for the most part, it pretty much was me watching Mission Impossible, the first 6 for the first time. And I was able to get to watch it all in like within a week or so. So it's all fresh in my mind. So I just thought before 7 comes out that I'll just do a ranking and talk about each one a little bit. And so we'll start off at the 6th spot as of now. I highly doubt, the new one's going to drop that low. But the newest, number 6, I'm going to put at Mission Impossible 2. And this one, it is the worst one in my eyes. It's not even a terrible movie, I don't think. But I believe this one was right around 2001 or 2, I believe. And it feels like that. The directing of it, the cinematography, it has a lot of just random slow-mo scenes and just like zoom-ins and zoom-outs kind of stuff. It feels like it feels its age. And so I have to put it at the last one just because of that. Like I said, overall, I still don't think it was a bad movie. It was definitely still worth a watching all of these. And I enjoyed it for the most part, but there was times that it was, especially in the beginning, it had some tough scenes of just the zoom ins and the slow mos that were kind of rough. So I put that one at 6 for now. I guess for now, like I said, highly doubt number 7 is going to drop all the way to 6. The 7th one, Dead Reckoning Part 1, but we're just going to say that. Going to number 5 now, I think I have to go with Mission Impossible, the first one. And overall, I thought this was a really good start to the franchise. It gets pretty much right into it, which I really appreciated from the start of it. And then it just goes, and it just feels like a really good spy movie. Intense. It has really good scenes. There is this one, I believe, 96. I want to say that this one came out. And there are some scenes that have, a little rough CGI editing going on, but it was 96. It's not terrible. You can look past it. Plus, if you just think about the time frame, who cares? Overall, I enjoyed the movie. Like I said, it was a fun spy movie about who framed him, everything going on. And like I said, the villain, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, was pretty good. It was interesting. There's some nice twists and turns in it that I really appreciated and thought was good. So Mission Impossible was my number 5. Number 4, I think I have to go Mission Impossible 3. And I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was fun. But it's just this, I want to say it came out in 06, I believe. And then there was quite a gap between, like I said, Ghost Protocol came out in 2011 or 2012. So there's about a 6-year gap, and I think there was a relatively big change in terms of just the emphasis on like the crazy scenes and like the CGI. Not really CGI because, Tom Cruise does all his stunts, everything that happens in these movies, he did himself. There is no CGI. He's just phenomenal like that. Lance Plains does it all. He's great. But I think once you get to 4, 5, and 6, it definitely comes more of an emphasis on just a phenomenal movie in terms of just something crazy going on. So I have to put, I think number 4, I'm gonna have to put 3. But I honestly, I really enjoyed 3. I thought it was good. But like I said, it's just, I think 4, 5, and 6 are so, Mission Impossible 4, 5, and 6, not the place, are just so visually stunning, and the stunts that they do are just phenomenal, that I just have to really respect them and put them up there. So for number 3, I have to do Ghost Protocol. I thought this movie, again, listen, I like all of these. I'm not going to lie. I'll talk about it at the end of the franchise. I'm going to say it every time I like this movie. I just can't stop because I love them all. They're a really good franchise. But Ghost Protocol was the whole going to Abu Dhabi and climbing the Tower Khalifa, something like, I don't remember the exact name of that tower. Was that scene in general is just crazy how good it looks. Seeing him climb it, and I think the plot's really interesting. I really like just the spy feel and how much of spy movies these are and how they feel. The whole wearing masks and all that stuff. I just think it's really fun. The voice changers, it's just, I enjoyed a lot. I thought, the Russians, I can't remember his name, who's kind of the lead of this one, the villain protagonist. I can't remember his name right now, but that to me, that's why I have to put it at the 3 spot, is because he wasn't as memorable of a villain to me, for the most part, compared to the next 2, which are pretty much the same villain for the most part, in a sense. So because of that, I have to put it at 3. But like I said, the Abu Dhabi part is great. The going to different places, the whole sneaking into the, not really sneaking in, but going to the party, that I like that scene a lot. And even the beginning of it is pretty fun, for the most part. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol at 3. Jeremy Renner was introduced in this one. He was cool in this one, but this is where it's tough for me, ranking number 1 and 2. Obviously, the last 2 are Rogue Nation and Fallout, which is Mission Impossible 5 and 6. I think I have to put at number 2, I'm going to say Fallout would go to number 2. And Henry Cavill was a great addition to the Mission Impossible, franchise. He did phenomenal in his role. He was really entertaining. Angela Bassett shows up in this one. Alec Baldwin, killer in his own right. He reprises his role from the number 5 Rogue Nation. And this one is good. It has Solomon Lane. Again, he comes back. Obviously, the main one, number 5, if you haven't seen it. But I'm assuming at this point I can talk about whatever I want. If you're watching this video, you had to have seen him most likely. So, obviously Solomon Lane comes back. He's in Fallout. And it was a good movie. The beginning of it, obviously, really cool. Him jumping on the plane. But I feel like Solomon Lane in 5 was just so much better and cooler as a villain. And he was just phenomenal that I have to put that one at 1. As well as I wish they would have hid Henry Cavill was the one giving the information to the CIA. I wish they would have hid that a little bit better than they did, because you find out pretty early that you can't trust Henry Cavill, and so that kind of takes away part of it to me. Is like I like the mystery of like who's backstabbing who, what's going on with Hunt, who can he trust, and so just they kind of, when he gives the phone to Angela Bassett's character, the director of the CIA, you see that it's not the same phone, and so from the beginning you can pick up and be like, oh, you can't really trust this guy, and he lays out his whole reasoning for why Hunt's probably John Lark. So I mean, there still are some good twists at the end of that one, which I do really enjoy that part of it. The whole, it's almost right at the end of the movie when they're all in the basement and they have Solomon Lane and they have the director of at the beginning, he's now the director, Alec Baldwin character is there, the director of IMF, and they're all like in the basement talking about what can they do, and Henry Cavill's like, oh, you're Hunt's like a lunatic, and Alec Baldwin's character is like, yeah, listen, you just can't do all this. You got to stop. Like, and he's, Hunt's trying to defend himself, like, oh, I'm being set up, blah blah. And they have that whole scene of Benji is Solomon Lane, and Henry Cavill kind of goes to break him out, and they have their little interaction. And then like from there, you kind of like go on more. I thought that was all good, and I really enjoyed that part of it. And I will say that has as far as I recognize, the only F-bomb in the entire franchise. Obviously, they're PG-13, so you're allowed to have one. And Henry Cavill, I think, he has beautiful delivery, probably one of the best F-bombs in terms of a PG-13 movie. Beautifully delivered line, talking to Solomon Lane, who he thought was Solomon Lane. It was Benji, obviously, but I really enjoyed that movie. But after that, it kind of went downhill for me after that whole scene where Henry Cavill's character escapes and he gets on like a helicopter, and then from there they have to go to the medical camp. I can't remember where. I want to say it was somewhere over in like around somewhere on the Chinese border, and something I can't remember exactly where it is. But they go there to the like medical facility where they learn about like, oh, they hit the 2 plutonium bombs, and his ex-wife's there and all that. That whole part, I didn't love that finale. The chase scene with the helicopters of Hunt chasing down Henry Cavill's character, it was okay. I just didn't feel like it was anything spectacular. I did really enjoy Benji and I can't think of her name, Elsa, I believe. Their little fight scene with Solomon Lane when he was in the house. I really enjoyed that part a lot, but I don't know, the whole Hunt and Henry Cavill fight, I was just kind of Tom Cruise and Henry. It's Ethan Hunt. It's Henry Cavill. I don't know his character name. Not gonna call him Tom Cruise. He's Ethan Hunt. But I enjoyed their fight, Elsa and Benji and Solomon Lane, because Solomon Lane is just such a cool character, and some of the things he does in that fight, the way he like ties up Benji, he's just a really cool villain, and so I like seeing him be more in like that villainous role of actually fighting. I thought that was cool. But yeah, like the helicopter chase scene, it was cool and all, but they could do better. So that's why I kind of had to drop that one to 2, and therefore put Rogue Nation at the number 1 Mission Impossible movie in my eyes so far. I do have hope that it gets surpassed in the new one, Dead Reckoning, or even Dead Reckoning Part 1 or Part 2 in the future. But as of now, for me, that stands at number 1. I think Rogue Nation was just a phenomenal movie. It was a lot of fun. Like, I had a lot of fun with that movie. I love the twists and turns in it. I think Solomon Lane is just a phenomenal villain and character, and just the way his delivery, like he doesn't have that kind of presence, that he doesn't have a big physical presence, and his voice is even kind of like high pitch, almost nasally. It's not, like most people, when they think of a villain, they think of, this, you have to be this huge, like scary figure in terms of just how you look, or the delivery of just like this, deep voice and, villainous thing. And he's just kind of just super calculated and just knows what he's going to do, and knows what Hunt's going to do, more importantly, which is why they're so interesting. And just that it gets brought up in the movie where they're like, maybe does the Syndicate and the Rogue Nation even exist, or are you just fixating on this? Like, and they're talking about how he's beating you, and like, is that what this all about? You just have to be better than him, with Hunt and Solomon Lane, and so I just love their dynamic of those two, how they're both just the smartest and the best in their own right, and they're just trying to outsmart each other. The action in this movie is good. I love the twist. I appreciate a good like twist of like, oh, like it's what people want The Departed to be. Let's be honest, The Departed, going off topic here real quick, The Departed, okay, Martin Scorsese, wow, it's got Leo and Mark and blah, blah. Matt Damon, actually. Mark Wahlberg has a small part, but Matt Damon. Yeah, that movie's trash. I don't like it. It has so many twists and turns to the point where it's like, it's not fun anymore. I'm just like, of course. You know what I mean? Like, something happens. It's like, of course that guy is actually working for who. It's just lame. This is good. It doesn't have too many. It has enough that it's fun. And it's like, oh, wow. But it's not enough where it's like every single turn. It's like, oh, wait, this guy's with this person. Stupid. Departed sucks. Anyways, the turn with when they're inside the prime minister and they have to, kidnap him, and that whole scene of realizing that it's the British intelligence that started it, and he was trying to run his own thing, and then Solomon Lane found out and like took over the syndicate. I thought that was interesting. I love the end of this movie, the climax of this movie, of just the intensity of what Solomon Lane with having Benji there, and he has him all strapped up and ready to blow him up, and Hunt's like, oh, I memorized all your money, let's make a deal, let's figure this out. I just thought that scene was really intense, and like the little chase scene after that, it just felt more realistic and just more, I don't know, I enjoyed that chase scene better than the helicopter chase scene in Fallout. So and then at the end, obviously, where they kind of get him to fall down and trap him and put him in the box and he's shooting at him, I just really loved the ending, and I just thought that climax and that ending was more fun for me and more intense and just like what's happening compared to Fallout. I was a little bit like helicopter chase scene, like it's cool and all, but it just didn't have as much of that intense feeling for me, and so I did appreciate how in Fallout they had him like rock climb up to get the little thing. We'll call back to the opening of number 2, where he's rock climbing, and that beautiful movie. But had a little callback. But besides that, I mean, like I said, after watching this franchise basically for the first time, I saw this franchise. I think it's phenomenal. I really, really like Mission Impossible. I'm extremely hyped for Mission Impossible 7. Dead Reckoning Part 1 and Part 2. Hopefully it comes out in a year. Who knows with everything happening with strikes and everything seems to get delayed at this point. I'm hoping that it does come out in a year because I'm sure Part 1's going to be good and have a nice setup for Part 2. So that'll be Part 1. I'm thinking it should be good, but I do have a feeling that it is going to be a good setup movie, and Part 2 will really be something special, I hope. But yeah, overall, like I said, that's my list. I have number 6 spot, the 6th best Mission Impossible. I have Mission Impossible 2. At number 5, I have Mission Impossible 1. At number 4, I have Mission Impossible 3. And then at number 3, I have Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. At 2, Mission Impossible Fallout. And number 1, the best Mission Impossible so far, in my eyes, is Rogue Nation, Mission Impossible 5. So that's really all I have to say on those. Tom Cruise just kills it. Ethan Hunt's a lot of fun. Simon Pegg. Penn? No, not Penn. Pegg. Yeah, Simon Pegg. Phenomenal as Benji. I love him. Luther is cool. It's cool to see he's the only one who's been in all of them. That was kind of an issue I had with the first 3, is there wasn't not a whole lot of cohesion. It was every movie was a different cast besides Luther. And then finally in 3, Benji shows up a little bit, and then he gets bigger roles as the series goes on with 4, 5, 6. But I do feel like the first 3 definitely feel a lot older and just kind of, not a lot of cohesion. And then 4, 5, 6 are, you get similar characters, plot points. It's a lot of fun. So I definitely think that the there's 6 of them if you want to say the first trilogy, the second trilogy, whatever. I definitely think the second trilogy, starting in 2011, like I said, I believe is when Ghost Protocol came out, just has a big boost in terms of the writing, the directing, the cinematography, the storyline, what's happening, the spy stuff. I just think it really steps up. So I just love those ones a lot more. But even, like I said, I think 1 and 3 are really good movies. And 2, as cheesy as it is, I still enjoyed that one, and I would not be surprised if I end up rewatching those. Over the course of time, I definitely, if I see a Mission Impossible movies on, I'm probably going to turn it on from now on. Before I'd be like, oh, those are probably cool, but I hadn't got around to them yet. Now I think no matter which one it is, I'm probably going to turn it on. And so yeah, this franchise kind of really surprised me how much I enjoyed it. So. Looking forward to Dead Reckoning Part 1. Hope you guys are too. Comment down below if you're looking forward to it. What do you think of this list? Like the video as always. Subscribe to the channel. And see you. Well, I guess we will, because probably the next one will be all of us again. This was just a solo review. But, I will see you, and the whole group will see you guys in the next one.